I'm not gonna lie. The support on the Nuka-Cola Quantum video has been overwhelming. I guess it hit the old YouTube algorithm just right once everyone got a chance to watch the show. Considering that I was laid off at the beginning of last month, I was able to get the video posted just before the show dropped, and I think that paid off, because that video's performance has officially pushed this channel over the threshold to apply for monetization through the YouTube Partner Program. I'm not gonna address this kind of stuff in every video, but I felt the need to do so today after the unprecedented success of that video in particular. Thank you so much to everyone who found my channel through it. I figure I should briefly reintroduce myself here so that you know exactly who and what you're subscribed to. Thanks for doing that, by the way. My name is Nick, and I make videos about beverages, mostly real-world adaptations of drinks from fiction, although that isn't always the case. I do a yearly pass at Alton Brown's aged eggnog recipe around the holidays, and some of my older videos cover more real-world beverages or lean more into a traditional commentary video style. Recently, I've thought about keeping this channel more focused on drinks and video games, books, and film like The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, A Song of Ice and Fire, The Lord of the Rings, and beyond. Of course, I'll never stop doing the annual aged eggnog video, but I have entertained the idea of a separate channel for other less strictly drink-oriented topics, so this channel's content remains focused and consistent. Let me know what you think I should do in the comments. Speaking of things I'm doing, I've got more Fallout videos on the way, but given the title of this video, I'm sure it's clear we're dipping back into Skyrim for today's subject matter. Don't worry, this one's not going to be as long as the skooma video. Still not sure how that one managed to be my longest one somehow. We'll be covering a particular digestive that was featured in the famed Elder Scrolls Cookbook, but never appeared in-game, and didn't really fit into any of the broader beverage categories like the meads, cocktails, or spiced wines. So I figured we could just cover it by itself and use the extra time as an opportunity to discuss a content roadmap of sorts for this channel. I'll never understand why cookbooks tied to fictional properties tend to include beverages that don't appear in the property itself, yet opt to leave out ones that are present, but I want to cover every single drink in these cookbooks. I'm pretty good at backtracking and headcanoning semi-convincing connections though, so that's what we'll do for this one before further delving into this channel's tentative content roadmap. To do so, let's head over to Falkreath to discuss The Water of Life, which made its debut in the official cookbook. Good evening and welcome to Dead Man's Drink. Located in the moody forest town of Falkreath, Dead Man's Drink is owned by Valga Venetia, who named it as a bit of a nod to the fact that the town holds Skyrim's largest graveyard.
The cemetery is ancient. It's been here longer than the town. I'm no scholar, but I know that a lot of battles have been fought here over the course of history. After each battle, more dead were buried and the graveyard got bigger. I heard it's now the biggest graveyard in Skyrim.
I chose this particular venue to discuss the Water of Life because, according to the Elder Scrolls Cookbook, considered something of a cure-all by many Nords, this potent beverage is reputed to bring the ill back up to full health. Everyone seems to have their own family recipe, but I managed to wheedle this one out of a farmer in Falkreath. Much like my backtracking to surmise the identity of the Imperial Mulled Wines eluded creator in the Spiced Wines of Skyrim video, I would like to consider the farmers of Falkreath to identify the most likely Nord that our cookbook writer derived their recipe from. Fortunately for us, there appears to only be one true farm in Falkreath proper. Corpse Light Farm, run by Matthias and Indara Karelia.
Falkreath is a hard place, and tending a farm here is thankless work.
Matthias is a Nord, while Indara is an Imperial. Their marriage in this tumultuous time between their respective cultures reflects their beliefs that Skyrim's civil war is an affront to Arkay, the god of the cycle of life and death in the Imperial pantheon.
Matthias is a kind and wise man. The Nords could use more like him. So could the Imperials. How could people see all the graves in Falkreath and still want to make war?
Unfortunately, we first meet the farmers as they mourn the recent loss of their young daughter Lavinia, who was savagely murdered by the traveling Nord laborer Sinding, as he bore the cursed ring of Hircine, which induces random werewolf transformations, and was unable to control his bloodlust under the ring's influence.
The god Arkay was once like us, bound to winding mortality. but he willingly gave up this existence that we might better understand the vagaries of life and death. It is through the ebb and flow of this cosmic tide that we find renewal, and in the end, peace. May the spirit of Lavinia and all those who have left this world and its suffering know the beloved serenity of Aetherius. And may we one day rejoin them in eternity.
Our daughter. Our little girl. She hadn't seen her 10th winter. He ripped her apart. Like a saber cat tears a deer. We barely found enough of her to bury. My wife and I think there's some dark magic at work. Or perhaps Arkay's influence is strong here, and he likes to keep it this way.
It is ironic that the recipe for this particular infusion would be found in a town so marred by death that nearly every business name bears some motif tying to it, and poetic that a Nord who experienced such devastating loss would share his recipe for a drink that represents a hope for life despite his recent tragedy. To make this particular farmer's recipe for the water of life, you'll need 2 teaspoons of fennel seeds, 2 teaspoons of caraway seeds, 1 tablespoon of juniper berries, 1 sprig of fresh dill, and 4 cups of vodka. It only takes 5 minutes of prep, not counting the steep time, and is best on its own after a full meal. Step 1. In a small sauté pan or skillet over medium heat, toast the fennel and caraway seeds for several minutes until they are lightly browned and smell fragrant. Add the seeds and the remaining ingredients to a large jug and seal the top. Unlike with the skooma recipe, where I wouldn't have overfilled the quart-sized jar if I had added the correct amount of water to the batch, this one does call for 4 full cups of liquid plus the dry ingredients, so you'll need a container that is slightly larger than a quart. However, I did not learn my lesson with the skooma and overfilled this one too. Oops. Oh well. Step 2. Let steep for 2 to 3 days until it turns a light golden color and has as strong a flavor as you like. Serve in small glasses. It can be sipped as a digestive or knocked back for a more medicinal approach. Yeah, that's medicinal, all right. Whew. It's honestly a pretty interesting beverage, although I might recommend against taking the medicinal approach unless you really like a straight shot of liquor. The most interesting thing with this one is the aroma is incredibly heavy on the fennel and caraway. All of those spices sort of come together in almost this chocolatey, woodsy flavor, which I don't necessarily hate. I think it's kind of fun. You get a little hint of that dill, but I think that toasting the fennel and caraway elevates it and probably is what gives it such a strong color. I may have let mine get a little bit past golden, but I also think that I want as strong of a flavor as possible because I don't want to just be, tasting slightly flavored vodka. I want those flavors to be out there. The thing that I'm missing the most is the juniper, and what I thought would be the case with this, and kinda isn't, is that this might just create, in a backwards way, gin. Like, I thought that this would taste similar to gin, but it really doesn't. And that could be because I'm still using some of the vodka left over from the Sujama video where I needed something with barley in it for the spirit. So it's a barley-based vodka, which could be helping draw out some of those earthier characteristics, but I think that this thing is still pretty cool. It's unorthodox though, it's kind of odd, and there's no other place where I could squeeze this in thematically with some of the other content on this channel. It kind of made the most sense to do it by itself and use it as an excuse to talk about this channel's future. So thanks for bearing with me while we do all that, and I hope that you had fun here, even if this is a briefer segment than we're used to. If you like the flavors of fennel and caraway, then this is probably going to be a winner for you. I think if I were to work on it and create my own version of it, like the people of Skyrim are wont to do apparently, but they don't share it in game, I would probably up the juniper a lot, and not just add whole berries, but grind them up a little bit to muddle them and create more surface area and interaction with the interior of the berry to create more of a juniper flavor, and maybe dial it back on the toasting of the caraway and fennel, just, for my preference. Maybe I'd even up the dill, I don't know. I think it could be a little bit different, so maybe we'll revisit it at some point for another channel check-in and see what my version of the water of life would be.
It makes my eyes hurt. I'm not gonna like it.
No.
Oh, it hurts my tummy. I don't like it. What is it?
It's the Nordic water of life. It's just vodka with a ton of herbs.
It's not good. Smells like fingernail polish remover. There is like a umami, savory smell for sure. So I don't know what kind of herbs you put in it, but... And then it didn't taste like anything, it just burned. No thank you.
Now that we've tasted the water of life according to one Falkreath farmer's recipe, let's bid Matthias adieu and head out to continue our discussion of this channel's future content. Okay, let's chat some more about the tentative plans for the channel. Full disclosure, I wasn't sure if I was going to do more Fallout recipes, but it's safe to say that since the show was actually good and has gotten more folks into the franchise as a whole, and by extension really helped this channel out, I've shuffled some of my plans around. I'm not doing a full pivot to exclusively Fallout videos, of course, but I have accommodated more of them into my schedule this year, particularly this spring and summer. You can expect my next video to be on the other Nuka-Cola recipes from the Vault Dwellers Cookbook, and the one after that to be our first foray into drinks found in Skyrim, but not in the Elder Scrolls Cookbook. There are a great many drinks in the Nord's homeland that I think deserve a real-world adaptation, so in lieu of official recipes,
I'll do it myself.
This first one will be a one-of-a-kind mead found in Hafingjarhold. As I come across other fan-made recipes for drinks, you can expect they'll be incorporating their takes to compare to my own. Everyone's got a different interpretation, and I'm here for it. While most mixologists take additional creative liberties with their concoctions, my philosophy for crafting a recipe for a fictional drink involves a strict adherence to lore accuracy. Sometimes that means it might not turn out as subjectively good as other ones, but you won't be able to say that I deviated too far from the source material. After the Mysterious Mead video, I'll delve back into the wonderful world of Nuka-Cola products, and then we'll make our first expedition into Westeros to discuss some beverages inspired by the Starks and Targaryens as our final video this spring. Then, for our first 3 videos of the summer, I'm doing a 3-part series on the only true cocktails found in Skyrim. I've seen them adapted in various forms, but I've got some interesting takes on them that are worth exploring. We'll hop back into the Wasteland for a bit after that, and then announce my plans for this year's Aged Eggnog experiment. I think it's going to be a real winner this year. Of course, this is all fairly tentative, and admittedly a rather ambitious release schedule, but losing my day job has given me the time and motivation to really buckle down and make the videos I've always wanted to make on this channel. It has clearly already started to work given the success of the Nuka-Cola Quantum video and Skooma one after that, but I'll really need your help to truly make this thing sustainable. By liking the videos and commenting your thoughts, sharing them with your friends that might enjoy too, or even posting them over on relevant subreddits if you're active on Reddit, you'll really help me get this channel off the ground. I've posted a few of them over there before, but I find it a little cringy doing it myself and feel like it means more coming from someone other than me. Shout out to my channel regulars like Alina the Goblin, Jeskin, StereoTypo, The Good Crusader, Anthony Graham, Uptown Rider, and the rest. They really have been instrumental in keeping me motivated to continue making these videos, streaming on the gaming channel, and elevating my edits, and I wouldn't have reached this point without people like them tuning in. If you have the means to comfortably do so and deem it worth your while, I have a Patreon, and as of this week, YouTube memberships on this channel.
He's begging for patrons again, eh?
The perks at each tier are the same for both platforms, so it's really up to you which one you'd prefer if you're interested. Everyone gets a shout out at the end of videos starting at the $5 casual sipper tier, but higher ones get perks like voting on future projects, gamertag access, and more. Thank you to my current casual sippers, Ray and StereoTypo, and a huge thank you to IKnewThatWasADog for joining as a noble benefactor. You guys are truly doing the most to make this channel succeed.
All that's left now is to go ahead and wait for the patrons to come in.
While today's video was somewhat unorthodox, to my new subscribers, I hope you feel adequately up to speed on the channel's mission and history, and to everyone, I hope you're down for the direction of the channel as pitched in this video. As always, please leave a comment with any thoughts you might have on the roadmap, or I guess the Water of Life recipe. It is a different one to be sure. I have updated the playlists on my channel for your convenience, so if you haven't checked out any of the older stuff, there are some links to my right and left that you might find interesting if you're looking for more to watch. Check out the Patreon here, or check out the gaming channel here. Who knows, maybe someday we'll get that one over 1,000 subs too. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Cheers.